Hello students, welcome to the commercial studies classes. Now from today we will see what is the difference between primary market and secondary market. So as I told you, in primary market only new securities are issued by new or existing company. The company may be new or the company may be an old one, but the securities issued are new in nature. And in secondary market, existing securities are traded. Again, a company, in case of primary market, sells securities to investors directly or through an intermediary. But in case of secondary market, only investors exchange ownership of securities. The company is not involved at all. That means in primary market, a company is selling shares to the investors, but in secondary market, only investors who have already invested in shares are investing in other shares or selling that shares. In primary market is a source of funds and flow of funds come from primary market. In secondary market, already the securities are bought one, so liquidity of security is enhanced and it is purchased and sold. In case of primary market, only securities are bought, but in secondary market, buying and selling both happens. In case of primary market, the prices of shares are determined by company who has issued them, but in case of secondary market, demand and supply of shares determine the prices of shares. Again, in case of primary market, there is no fixed geographical location of the market, but in case of secondary market, the market is located at specified places like stock exchanges. So these are the basic differences between primary market and secondary market. Now let's move to the next topic, which is sources of finance. So from where the company collects its capital, we will have to see that. So there are two kinds of sources based on time for which the funds are borrowed or funds are invested. One is long term and another is short term. There is no definite time period in which we can divide them, but short term is supposed to be only for 2 or 3 years. More than 3 years is called long term in this context, especially. So, for long term capital, so that company can possess the capital for long time, there are equity shares, preference shares, retained earnings, and debentures may be issued, or from financial institutions, long term loans can be taken. In case of short term, the sources of finance are commercial banks, public deposit, trade credit, and intercorporate deposits. Now, according to the source of fund, again the sources may be divided into two kinds of funds, like owned funds and borrowed funds. Owned funds means those funds which are supplied by the owners, the proprietors. So owned funds include equity share, preference share, retained earning, global depository receipts, ADRs, IDR, and in case of borrowed fund, debenture and bonds, financial institutions, public deposit, commercial bank, trade credit. All these are examples of borrowed funds. Now today I will tell you one more topic, that is equity shares. So equity share is nothing but the capital of the company divided into several parts, and each part is called a share. So why this is created? If a company wants to raise huge amount of capital, but that capital may not be supplied by only few persons, then the shares are divided into several small parts, suppose rupees 10 or rupees 100 each share, and then it can be sold to the market, and even small investors can invest smaller amounts of capital in their in that company. So that is the main objective of issuing equity shares. Equity shares or ordinary shares are part of the core capital of the company. So let's see what are the features of equity share. So it is an indivisible part of the capital of the company which cannot be divided further. And it is a part of the capital of the company and owner's fund. So it is the holder of the shares are called shareholders or members of the company, or in other words we can say that they are proprietor of the company, they are owners of the company. It avails some rights to the holder, like right to have dividend if there is any profit, right to have voting power in general meetings of the company, or deciding the board of director or making any policy decisions. It creates some liabilities on holder also, may be limited to the amount of shares or may not be limited, but generally it confers some liability on its holder. Each share has a distinct unique number given to it. Each share has a nominal or face value for which the shareholder is liable, like rupees 10 or rupees 100 each share. It may be issued at a discount, like it may be issued at rupees 90, it may be issued at a premium like 110 rupees, but the face value will remain same, that is 10 rupees or 100 rupees. The holder of share is issued a share certificate under the seal of the company, which is a certificate to prove that the shareholder holds some share. It is a movable property and can be transferred in the any manner laid down in the articles of the company to any other person. Like in partnership, if share of the partnership firm is to be shared to any other person, all the partners must be agreed to that. But in case of company, the shares may be sold without any intimation given to the shareholder company. So this is basically equity shares. It has no right, the shareholder has no right to have any preferential dividend or any preferential payback in case of liquidation of the company. But if the profit occurs after paying all the expenses of the company, then only dividend is liable to be paid. Again, dividend can be retained in the business or it may be, but that decision also has to be taken by the shareholder themselves. So basically this is the equity shareholders. In next video I will discuss advantages and disadvantages of it. Thanks.